Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Mecaniquesportive YouTube channel. This is Nicholas. Today, I'm going to talk to you about my car. Well, my old car, since I had to change it. I'll cover all that in this video. This is my Saxo, a 1998 model 1.4-liter diesel. I don't even know how much horsepower it had back then. I think it was 4 fiscal horsepower, and I believe it was between 50 and 60 actual horsepower. 5-speed gearbox. A diesel engine that's top-notch even though it makes a noise. Incredible. You can hear it from miles away. It currently has 2,700 kilometers on it. It's been driven a lot, and it's pretty worn out. The clutch is worn out and very stiff. I'm also changing because of that, because honestly, spending money on it didn't really interest me. So I bought a new car that I'll show you right after this. The clutch and cable have both been replaced twice due to frequent breaks, making the clutch stiff. So I feel like I'm driving a race car when it comes to the feel of the clutch pedal. The cables aren't reinforced because there are no reinforced cables for small cars like this. So they were attached with a plastic clamp and the cable would come off. It was a bit annoying every time. I had to start the car by putting it in gear and shifting gears on the fly without the clutch, so it was a bit annoying. Luckily, I had 0-mile roadside assistance insurance. In certain conditions, I wanted to have a black roof because I wanted a two-tone look. But it was funny, and the paint started to peel off. But otherwise, it was still in pretty good condition. I bought it from a friend's mom about 5 years ago now. I bought it for 400 euros. And you often ask me what kind of car I have. Well, this is what I used as my everyday car. I only have this and a Forza 125 scooter. As I often say in my wheel videos, since I also make wheel videos on this channel. Why did I buy such a small car back then? So I had an old Citroen 1-liter gasoline car which broke down in front of the Volkswagen press part. The car was very old and owned by an elderly person. Before the clutch was very worn out too, and actually the clutch fused directly to the flywheel, which had no lining left at all. I paid 1,500 euros and kept it for 9 years, so it was a good deal. This one cost 400 euros, and I kept it for nearly 5 years. So now I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Either it goes for a really fun project, or I sell it as is. There you go. And so it's a category 4. So since 2021, normally I'm not supposed to be able to drive inside the 86 anymore. And unfortunately, I often have to pick up cars by taking the 86 or inside the 86. Every time I was stressed about getting fined since my friends already have been fined for the same criteria. And I really don't think it's cool to force people to change cars because, honestly, that's exactly what I'm doing. I could have fixed the clutch. I haven't had heating for 2 years or ventilation now. I could have fixed it and kept driving since the car runs well. Diesel, it's the best. I filled up every 2 months. With properly inflated tires, I got 1,380 kilometers per tank. Truly unbeatable. My average was just 3.2 liters per 100 kilometers. And clearly, I love that car. I could throw bikes in it. I could climb on top of it. That's it, but unfortunately, it's because of these stickers, criteria, and ecology. It's about stopping the use of old cars and buying new ones. But I feel making new cars and engines, which will obviously consume more than this one, that's not necessarily ecology. I'm interested in your comments about that. What do you think? Keeping an old car that pollutes slightly but uses just 3 liters per 100 kilometers is better. For example, my Maybach V12 used about 45 liters per 100 kilometers in the city on gasoline. So sure, it's maybe a more recent engine, but I think that 45 liters per 100 still pollutes more than 3 liters from a 2. That's it. Comment if any engineer can explain why my car pollutes more than a Maybach or a Lamborghini Urus or any other Rivuelto or Bugatti Chiron, which are category 1. I'd really like to understand why. There you go. I mean, I'm not against electric cars or anything, but that's just not how I use them. Why didn't I get an electric car? The new one, my car actually works. From Mazda to Peugeot, from Peugeot to Honda, from Honda to Mercedes. From Mercedes to Audi, from Audi to Cupra, from Cupra to Volvo, from Volvo to... There you go, you got it. And basically, this car was hardly ever at my place. In 2024, I traveled frequently for work, especially for press trips to test cars abroad. I didn't have time to take cars home anymore, but I usually take one from Monday to Monday for a test drive. When I have time, like I did with the Honda Jazz or other cars or upcoming ones, that's what I enjoy doing and how I started the channel. And this car actually would maybe be at my place for 3 weeks out of the year. And honestly, I don't see the point in buying an extremely expensive car that I'm not actually going to use, or one that's only going to be used on Mondays from 11 a.m. to noon, just to go from one place to another. And then I'll leave it there for a week. So I have no interest in buying myself a car. Well, even though I still think I spend a little too much money for what I just bought, for the use that I personally have for it, since I'm lucky enough to be able to test new cars all year long and drive a new car all year long, thanks to this job and thanks to you, I thank you once again. And by the way, I haven't wished you a very happy 2025 yet, which for me starts with this new car. I bought new microphones and cameras you'll see inside. We'll aim to do things right and make progress in 2025. And if you like it, don't hesitate to subscribe, because my goal is to keep going and to please you, to delight you with all the new cars. All right, let's move on to tomorrow for me. For you, it's right now with the new car. All right, well, here's my new car, a 2017 Twingo 3 with a 1-liter smart control efficiency, 70 horsepower engine. So the small engine, why did I choose this one? So I looked at used cars a bit. I was checking out quite a few things. I wanted a small compact car, gasoline. Criterion 1, and if possible, that it be automatic, but at a reasonable price. As I mentioned, I paid 400 euros for the Saxo. It lasted 5 years and could probably still run. But it's complicated since I'm being forced to change cars because of the criteria and all that. I wanted a Category 1 car so I could relax for a few years, knowing I'd have a small car. One that's affordable and reliable. Reliability was especially important to me. So that's what I was looking at on the internet. The other day, I rode with a tow truck driver who put my Saxo on the tow truck. He told me, the only car I never have to tow is the Twingo like this, with a rear engine. He told me, we never have to tow those. They're super reliable cars. I said, well, the 1-liter special edition lacks a turbo and has minimal electronics. Manual transmission, small rear engine, rear-wheel drive, and excellent turning. No automatic headlights, none of that stuff. Honestly, I thought that's enough for me. It has cruise control, a speed limiter, and manual transmission. This bothers me a bit since I'm in the Paris area. If you follow the channel, you know I love automatic transmissions. But then it was a little bit too much. So for the price, this one I paid 5,990 euros exactly. And when I was looking on Le Bon Coin, actually, I couldn't find a price necessarily lower. So I found this one near my place from a professional at that price. I thought to myself, actually, the guy, he's a professional. The car's automatically guaranteed in France when it's sold by a professional, at least 3 months for the engine, gearbox, and axle. I decided that for 3 months, I shouldn't have any problems. If I do, I'll just give them to him to handle. We checked the istoback. We checked the vertical quarter. Everything seemed fine. I thought, well, let's go for it. A benefit of choosing a professional was being able to pay by credit card. I didn't need to go to the bank, get a cashier's check, then go to someone's place. Where he's worried about me, I'm worried because I don't trust him, all that stuff. With the credit card, I paid directly, paid in full, and that was it. The yellow color, it wasn't a choice at all. I didn't really have a preferred color. Honestly, I'm glad to have it in yellow since I always tell you to buy colorful things on the channel. If I don't do it, I'm not a good example. And since I'm always telling you to buy a colorful car, a fun car, I had to do it too. Well, and I know, it says sporty mechanics right here. Some people will say sporty mechanics, but you don't only do sports cars and so on. And why are you buying that? Well, I'm not someone who needs to show off in life or needs to flaunt things that I drive a big car, since I already have this huge privilege of being able to drive pretty much whatever car I want, whenever I want. I just need to ask for a car to test drive. So sure, it's work when I take a really cool car, but I still enjoy it. And I had Amixem who stayed at my place. And while doing this job, I realized that she was hanging out at my place. I used my Saxo to pick up other cars, and once I had them, I drove those instead of my own car. So I thought to myself, should I get myself a nice car? Z4 E89S in good condition cost 15,000, 25,000 euros. And I said to myself, Nicholas, be smart. Why do you want to get a Z4 that you'll use for an hour a week? Or sometimes an hour every 2 or even 3 weeks, depending. When I do cars one after another, for example, sometimes I do 3 Peugeots in a row, 3 Mercedes in a row, 3 Renaults or others. And I said to myself, it's stupid to leave a car sitting somewhere for 3 weeks, pay a lot for insurance, and not really use it. So for me, that's smarter. I could buy myself a nice car. I was looking at used Porsche Boxsters. I was looking because at the time I had a Mercedes super liked, but it was Crit R2, the R230 versions that I had. I didn't want that since SLs got expensive after 2011. I'm not willing to spend 50,000 euros on a used car that quickly loses value. So I could have bought something much cooler, but what about actually using it? When am I going to use it? Tying up money and paying high insurance for what? That's not really what interests me. So, at least this is the sensible choice. I'm keeping the Saxo for now, but I'm unsure whether to sell it, keep it, or make it a project. New things may happen on the channel in 2025. Because for those who follow me on Instagram, you may have seen that I'm building a garage. I got a garage where it's possible that there will be some filming and little mechanical things happening there. Where will I make mechanical tutorials or do-it-yourself projects in 2025, 2026, and beyond? For example, suppose I have this lingo or find similar things, like my Saxo. I want to put an engine in it. I don't know, maybe a V8, for example. I don't know, do some crazy modification. Or swap in a 2-liter turbo and turn it into a 300 horsepower Saxo. Just some ideas I have, you never know. By the way, speaking of insurance, I'm 35 years old right now. I pay for this 2017 car with third-party insurance, plus glass breakage with no deductible, plus 0 km roadside assistance, 360 euros a year with my insurer. Feel free to tell me what you think and how much you pay for your insurance, roughly. This yellow Twingo, as you can see, is facing this way. It's not the latest model with LED lights. So here, you can see it. These are completely bulb headlights. These are the more recent models. By the way, I think this Twingo is still being produced, if I'm not mistaken, in both electric and gasoline versions. It was offered in 65, 70, and 90 horsepower, if I recall correctly. The 90 horsepower version had a turbo. I didn't want a turbo because, well, problems. I was also told it usually has a timing chain, which is more reliable and durable. Here we can open the hood. I think you have to unlock it with the key here. You can pull these little parts to access the hood release. There we go. There. Well, it's not the most convenient thing, this. There you go. There you go. Something pretty simple. The little grill here in the front, the Renault logo. So one of the headlights gets a bit of moisture in it. That's actually something I criticize a lot about new cars from new brands. Many new cars, even those over 200,000 euros, have foggy LED headlights, which I find disappointing. Here we have small LED lights. Something very simple. It's very compact at the front. So what else can we say about this car? The wheels are at all 4 corners, letting you really feel the car. It should be more stable since it's still a short car. I like that too. We have the little Twingo here, directly on the plastic part, the Twingo that's referenced there. Very simple, basic handles. We have electric windows, but they only go down in the front. In the back, the rear windows don't go down. It's just like old times. Like you can find on, for example, the Saxo, which I had back in the day in the 3-door version. Inside, you find this little handle to pull the door. It's a door made entirely of plastic, but it's white. It feels kind of nice. The thing I also like is that we have storage under the seats here, and we have a little net there, which allows for a bit of storage under the bench seat. The bench seat here in the back, so if I set it up so I'm 1.80 meters tall, it's really weird to grab the handle there. Actually, I have enough headroom. I would need to raise my headrest. I still touch it a little bit, though. Not ideal for tall people, this Twingo. Then, as for the knees, since the seat is pretty well shaped here, I have a bit of space. The back seat is very upright and the trunk is small. I haven't checked the volumes yet. I visited Renault recently. A similar, newer model costs about 17,000 euros new. A recent used one was 15,500. I was there thinking, what kind of world is this? Used car prices have skyrocketed and it's a bit much. And personally, I'm not ready to spend thousands and thousands on a used car, especially. Back in the day, you could find some really great deals. I considered MX 5S since I wanted another one. I bought a right-hand drive MX 5NC before because it was cheaper and more fun. I paid 6,500 euros for it, but in 2012, I went to Mazda and they offered me an NCFL, the very latest seats, brand new Recaros, white paint, bought fully loaded for 23,000 euros new. Now it's worth 23 to 25 used. People are losing it. A new MX 5 with 184 horsepower now costs 40,000 euros. That's how I feel when I think about new cars, and it bothers me a little bit. What I really like is this little spoiler. There you go. This little spoiler here. The antenna is up, so it's a standard radio, no digital audio broadcasting, which didn't exist then. The rear window goes all the way down. Honestly, the amount of glass on this Twingo makes me a bit uneasy. I hope there won't be issues, but so far it looks like the original window. It's etched, which is good for insurance. The wiper, no backup camera as there's no screen. And the rear engine, wait, if I turn it like this, you can see. The engine is here, actually. You can see the engine directly, the drive shafts, everything, the suspension, and so on. Having winter tires in winter is convenient. There you go. On this side, we're going around. In the back, it's the same. The lights are all bulbs. The little gas cap, I think you can put about 40 liters in there. It's not full right now, so I'm a little disappointed. It wasn't delivered to me with a full tank. That's the little attention to detail I like from a professional, though. Inside, there's white and black. So it's hard plastic, really everywhere. It feels like being in a Dacia. And some pretty cool seats in this new Twingo, with the one-piece seats on the upper part. There we go. And when I get in, I come here, so the seat is 100% manual gearbox. I turn my key. And I really like that thing that goes boof, boof, boof. So this kind of gauge to change the information, it's right here. Very simple, just like that. So it has 85,700 kilometers. The little phone holder here, which works well just like that. There we go. Well, with one hand, it's not convenient. All right, I'll do it later. Phone holder, the radio. We have a little USB port here, media radio set up. Phone, things I can save, the back button, the hazard lights. But I love it. Hazard lights are silent. The air conditioning is above with vents far away. Then there's the defogger. There's a little texture there, but again, everything is hard plastic. But look, a little bit of white like that is nice inside a car, just like here, and this part moves a little. It's not very well fixed. Well, the car is a few years old after all, so, well, I shouldn't have removed it. How do you put it back here? There you go. On that side, the limiter, the little things for the tokens, a little bit of space. Here, the pedal set, 3 pedals. We still have a footrest here. Headlight adjustment, air vent, steering wheel, cruise control. I just need to figure it out. I usually understand, but not this time. Air conditioning. I have the air conditioning with a little button. The air conditioning, that'll make me happy. The glove box here, which is quite spacious, it's pretty deep in this spot. And then here's a real cup holder break, the little cigarette lighter socket. And honestly, for a 2017 car, it's still in pretty good condition. And we'll see how it goes. Well, now we'll have to go use it on the road. And then I'll drive it from time to time, just like that. I wanted to make a video about it because you often ask me, hey, what do you drive? People often ask, what's your personal car? Well, I upgraded from a Saxo to this. I hope to keep this one for at least 10 years. From 2025 to at least 2035. By 2035, selling combustion engines may be banned. Maybe I'll switch to electric since we'll be forced to by this government that tells us you're no longer allowed to sell combustion engines. Blah, blah, blah. Do you know it? I'll keep taking you for a ride to check the consumption and see how it goes. And then, that's it. Ready to go? Let's go. I didn't show you the trunk. You press here, you pull here. The trunk, as you can see, is not very, very deep. We have a shelf here, semi-hard. And what's crazy is that the engine is right there just under my seat. We can lift this shelf. It's somewhat insulating, but not very effective. It gets warm, but removing a plate underneath gives us access to the engine. There you go. I hope the bikes fit easily. It works great in the Twingo. Well, in the Saxo, Guys, I've never made a video in my personal car for you, which is this 1998 Citroen Saxo diesel. I don't know if you can hear it, but it makes a noise. The good old diesel sound. 300 to 2,000 kilometers on it right now. She's a bit tired. I don't have heat now. The windshield wipers in the car are both worn out. I've replaced the clutch cable twice since the clutch became extremely stiff. She is from... We haven't done any maintenance. The power steering is broken. No, but... The gearbox is stiff. It grinds a bit everywhere. It's complicated. The clutch is stiff. I feel like I'm driving a GT 3 Rennsport Stage 2. There you go, just like that. By the way, I'm using this video to test my new cameras. 2025. I thought, let's change things up a bit and do things right. Maybe we'll change the format a little. And as you saw in this video, I'm also changing my car. So I decided to buy a little Twingo, and I'll tell you more about it in the Twingo. At the same time, it was to test these cameras. I hope you can hear me better because I know you often said, Nico, we can't hear you well and so on. So I bought new cameras, new microphones, the Connect and so on. To have better quality. And the GoPros? I had a lot of problems for those who often follow the videos. And then there you go. What I really liked about this car is that it didn't consume much at all. I think that on average in the Ile-de-France region, I was at 3.2 liters per 100 kilometers, which was great. Since it's a diesel, it allowed me to drive at very low revs, around 1,100 revolutions per minute, like that, more or less. Honestly, I think the record I managed to set with a full tank in this car, and it's not a very big tank. It was 1,380 kilometers on a single tank. Driving around Ile-de-France on small roads at 80 to 90 km/h with smooth traffic. And when you're in 5th gear, it barely uses any fuel. So I really like this car. Now, it's not the most comfortable car, but at the same time, it allowed me to do a little reset each time. Money. Compared to the cars I test, since, as you know on the channel, I only test new cars. There are a lot of people who tell me, yeah, no, but often 65 horsepower things like that, it's not enough. Honestly, I don't even know this car's horsepower. It's the 1.4 diesel. You really need to take your time. I'm a calm person, and that's how I drive every day. I liked this car because it was so small. Expensive, to be honest. I bought it from a friend for 400 euros. There were a few little things to fix. Well, so yeah, the Twingo, I didn't pay that price for it. And I admit it makes me a little depressed because it's a car that's going to cost me more to buy, more to maintain, and it's going to use more fuel. All that happened because it was category 4 and I couldn't drive in Paris anymore. And sometimes I go to pick up cars in Paris and in the end, I didn't really have a choice. Honestly, I would have kept that one since I'm a simple guy. It was easy to load the bikes by just folding down the seat. But there you go, feel free to let me know what you think. But now let's move on to my new little Twingo. So here I am in my little Twingo in the city. Since that's mainly what it's going to do, I wanted a small car, not too big. Criterion 1, as I said, is that it shouldn't use much fuel since less is always better. This rear-wheel drive car is easy to handle and could be fun in winter. You need to disconnect a fuse since there's no easy way to turn off the electronic stability program. Simplicity, because I really like simplicity. And as I was saying, I'm lucky enough to be able to try out pretty much any car I want. And I think it's pretty nice actually to get back to the basics of automobiles. Just a car to get around with total simplicity. And actually, when I go to test the latest Mercedes, BMW, Porsche, or others, well, it means I know what I'm talking about. I can compare by saying, yes, I try out this kind of car, but I also drive this kind of small car. So here, this is a Model 17. It doesn't have start and stop on it. I have to admit, it suits me. Because back then, those batteries were more expensive. It would often restart the engine and so on. So I don't mind that it's not there like this. Anyway, since I've been using it, since I just got it back, to be honest with you, there's air conditioning in the car, the heating works. Unlike my Saxo, which hasn't had working heating for 2 years now, pretty well. I'm happy inside. I can see a bit of yellow in the mirrors. It makes me happy. I think it makes people happy. We need colors in our lives, and I like that. It's easy, the clutch is very soft, the gearbox shifts very smoothly, and the steering is pleasant. There are a few little things, for example, the boot here. When I shift gears like this, it pulls on it a bit and it comes off. But for that, I'll just put a little bit of glue on it, because I think some of the little clips are damaged. Other than that, it's honestly in good condition. It has, well, I don't remember exactly. I told you earlier, but 85,758 kilometers, which is pretty reasonable for a car. It's a gas engine. I absolutely wanted a gas engine. For Criterion 1, diesels are usually Criterion 2, except Mercedes may have released a diesel meeting Criterion 1. And clearly that was really smart, because a clean diesel. In the end, for someone who drives a lot, there's nothing better. I really like this little car. For the city, you can hear the engine a little. You push it a bit. The goal really isn't to push this car, it's to drive as calmly as possible. I like driving at low revs, and the advantage of this car is that it still has some torque at low revs. With this smart control efficiency, and above all, me, I drive calmly. Really, on a daily basis, that's how I drive. Except when I have a sports car, I'd like to have a little fun, but otherwise, that's it. You don't really feel the flaws that much. For the small imperfections, it filters them pretty well, but as soon as it's a little bigger, it hits a bit. The suspension is good. At the inspection, everything was fine. And there you go, now I'm pretty happy with my little purchase of a small city car for everyday use. Simplicity. I have space on the roof. The position is really just a position. That's typical, the kind of car. I'm not high or low, just in between. I can't adjust the steering wheel as I want. No armrest here, but there is one there. Yeah, look, a yellow Swift. Now we're yellow buddies. The seats, however, offer great lateral support, which I really like. Even with the seat cushion, I don't think I'll move much. But it's not a sports car. You can hear it a little when you push it. What's nice is that it comes from the rear. That's different compared to a front engine. But you can hear it a little, but not much more than that. It picks up again pretty well. I have the limiter and cruise control, but I haven't figured out how to activate cruise control yet. The brake pedal is progressive and feels like it will grip well when needed. Since it's light, it should stop easily. I have my phone holder I can put right there. I'll see what happens if I press harder. It's fine, not harsh, even then. The ventilation may be a bit noisy on one, but at least I have it. The coolest thing about this car is its turning radius, it really is. There are many turns of the steering wheel, but it mostly turns itself. The thing turns absolutely on the spot, and that's cool for the city, for maneuvers and so on. I don't have a backup camera since there's no screen, but I do have parking sensors. And my handbrake, manual. Alright, so what happens when you accelerate a little with this car? Step on the gas. It's not a powerhouse. I'm gently reaching 90. There you go. So now I'm at 90. This car doesn't have a tachometer, which throws me off since I like knowing where I'm at with one. I can hear a bit of noise from the engine in the back. It's not necessarily super sharp. At 90, I'm in 5th gear. It's a 5-speed I can hear a little bit of what's happening around me. The trucks, all that. But it's okay. It's not really that annoying either. Let's see. In 5th gear, if I accelerate again, I remove the limiter. I don't know how I remove it. Just turn it off like this and floor it. You need to downshift to overtake in 5th gear. There, go to 4th. And there, it's a little better. It overtakes. Now I'm reaching 110. Now what do I have to do? Go to the right? I have to go to the right. There's a speed camera here. At 110. Honestly, I expected to hear the engine more, but actually not much. However, I hear a lot of what's happening around me. I've got the plates behind me and everything moving a little bit, but honestly, it's not crazy. It's actually pretty good. The steering is very light though, and at high speed you can feel that the car leans a little bit. So it's not a sports car and it's not a mini either, with that go-kart feeling. It's been ages since I tried the Twingo. I drove the electric one, but I don't think I've tried the gas version. Like I said about the seats, I'm well supported and that's nice. Let me know what you think of the new cameras. Can you hear me better? Are the low frequencies and resonance reduced? To loyal viewers, thanks for watching often. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Enjoy all the reviews. New cars, brand new cars that are coming out and will be released soon. So now let's go at a higher speed. Even the wind noise and everything else stays contained. I know it's a car that catches a lot of wind, but I keep seeing Twingos everywhere. Right now, there's one behind us, again in sky blue, and I really like it too. Twingos are still very popular cars, just like the basic model was back in the day. Here, I'm driving on the highway, well, on a small national road and others, and the fuel consumption goes down. Right now, I'm at 5.7 liters for my trip. I still can't find cruise control. How does it work? Because I found the speed limiter, so that's good. That's okay. For example, 90 is a limiter, but I can't find the cruise control. Yet, I think there is cruise control because there's a limiter. It's with the sign thing, and the limiter is when you set it. But I can't do it. I don't understand. And here, it even has the thing, but I don't understand. Is it? I'll get it. Rev up to 70, 90, and 5, he advises me to downshift. Actually, unless you do a lot of highway driving or travel all the way across France. I think it's a good little everyday car that's easy to drive, quite pleasant, bright, with big windows. We're pretty comfortable. So am I happy with my purchase? Honestly, up to now, yes. Now, the consumption drops to 5. Will I get consumption as low as the Saxo? No, I don't think so, because the 3.2 liters, I think 3.2, 3.5 liters, that's almost unbeatable. The fact that it's a diesel for driving at 80 or 90 like that, it was really great. Even if a small 1-liter gasoline engine like that doesn't use much fuel. Anyway, I like what I need. A small, easy, practical car that should be reliable enough. I'll give you some feedback, maybe in a year. What have I done to it? Did I have any problems or not? For now, that's it. A 2017 car is ultimately 8 years old. I saw that the previous owner had it since 2019. I think he took at least some care of it. I hope it stays that way and that I'll be able to keep driving it peacefully. If you enjoyed the little video about Nico's car, feel free to subscribe and leave a comment. Tell me what kind of car you have. By the way, that could be interesting. And in the videos you've watched on the channel, has it helped you out a little sometimes? How to choose a car, whether new or used? And by the way, I thought, hey, I'll make some videos about used cars. Could be pretty interesting for you and even for me. Discuss reliability and other topics and invite people to the channel. So, if you're a loyal subscriber, don't hesitate to tell me, hey Nico, I'd like to come on the channel with my car. And if you're in the Paris area, we can try to set aside half a day and do a little filming together. You can share what's happening, your experiences, and maintenance, which could interest everyone. And if you'd like to appear on the channel, I'd be happy too. See you soon, friends. Bye.